All right, hello everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu, and we're actually here for the 90th episode of TLOY Talks. I just want to say thank you for everyone for tapping in throughout like the start until now and all that. I appreciate the love, support, and even like the time you took like in watching these podcasts, these interviews, all this other content too, and like we're all the way to like 100 right now, and definitely tap in for the rest of those. For the 90th, nothing too special and all that too. Like I have a new style, new drip, and all that. Like you can see that right now. But yeah, like you'll definitely like see more of this or like a lot of like interesting stuff from there. And I'm just gonna get it through right now. But I want to say congratulations to everyone like tapping in for the 90th. So basically we had this artist back on for this one. He actually was like a guest like on the Lens of Yashu like interview back in like 2021, like when we had him with Cleve. And he had his like first ever like interview there and all that too, like for the platform. Has released like a lot of songs to like My Place and all that too, and also Thoughts, Squid Games, and Ahuya Bad Mind. Has performed all over the city, like, and has performed at like Can Jam Festival, has performed in Jamaica and Ontario and all that. You have Sandoson back on the podcast. How are you doing today, man?
Great blessings, great blessings.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me back again. It's been a long while, but we're here to catch up some good feeds and good feedback. You see me?
Nah, for sure,
You
man.
know,
Like, yeah.
it's been a great blessings and everything. I can't, I can't like regret anything that's happening in my life. I feel like everything is happening in the same reasoning and the right time for the right reasoning. You get me?
Yeah, man. Nah, I mean, it's like a destiny too, but like when I met you like December of like 2021 and all that too, because it was like, I was like doing another like interview with like another artist too with Cleve and all that. And like, I was like kind of surprised that you even like showed up too. And like when we had that time to kind of do like that last minute interview too, like it did change like everything too. Like I noticed like a growth with you like as an artist. And, we even like discussed that like within like how you like got your start performing in Jamaica and Ontario. And I do want to get back onto that for a bit too, but yo, like since last time, did life change you for you like in a sense too in terms of like fame, getting opportunities and so forth from like January 2022 until like now and all that?
Let me elaborate on this. You see me? Yeah. Well, a lot have changed. I've come across a lot of like elevating, me elevating through this like journey. There's been people who I've I've never would have thought that would like betray me or like see me as a competition, but that's what it is. It is what it is, you know. But as well, I look at it as a compliment at the same time because if you're looking at me as a competition, well, that means you look at me as a competition. That right?
Yeah.
But the only person I'm competing with is the person where I was last year, the person I was yesterday, the person I was last week. You get me? But yeah, man, I've been through with all of that I gone through. I'd say it helped me grow. It helped me like be stronger because in this industry you have to have a thick skin and a lot more. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, man. Like,
I got like a lot of opportunities, as you were saying, like a lot of opportunities and a lot of downfalls. But it's like downfalls, I look at as a lesson and then I turn it into a blessing.
nah, for sure, man. And like I've seen that, with your like affiliation with like Soras and all that too, and like
Yeah.
with like a lot of like other people like in the music scene too. And like I definitely see like that transition of like not only just becoming like a dancehall artist too and all that, but even becoming like an artist in general that will shape within like the whole Toronto sound. And it
Hmm.
is kind of like amazing to see too and all that. And I actually want to dig deep into the whole like Can Jam like festival thing too, because I know you said that you've performed in Jamaica and Ontario for a bit too, but how did that situation come about, and how was it like performing at a festival like that, and even like performing like in Jamaica and in like Ontario and all that, so
So which one would you want me to start with first?
maybe Can Jam,
Can Jam. So I got that link through Lexicon. He showed me about it. He was like, "Oh, there's a festival happening 2019. That time we were in 2018, like just ending 2018. He's like, hop on it. He's like, so I signed up for it. Boom. We all got nominated. Him, T Polo, who else? Some other artists like Shane Amani. And these are artists that I've like worked with on stage with. I met them through like Rise Poetry. You ever heard of like Rise
Yeah.
Edutainment
Yeah. Shout
Poetry?
out to Randall and all that.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Same way, because if I never them, we wouldn't be here same way, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the connections happen through there too. So I have to like shout out big respect to them same way, you know?
Yeah.
And then so that happened. Can Jam was also like hosted and kept the same day as Kiribana, which was, I thought that was messed up.
Hmm.
I thought it was gonna be a flop thing, but like all those people from Kiribana end up coming to that event. And I'm like, rotted. But like throughout the whole time, I wasn't really that nervous because I smoked like probably like 40 spliffs that day, Red Grabber. So I was well high and took some rum, shot of rum.
Ah.
And I was like, my family came down, my family came down there, and what do you call it? Yeah, my father, my mother, they're very, very supportive. So shout out to them same way too. You know what I mean? And going on to the, which other one you want? Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Jamaica. So I actually started performing in Jamaica before I started performing down here. So like that was in 2017. It was at a karaoke spot back in like Old Brighton, Portmore. And it was like about 400 people. Now, probably even more than that. Because like there was people from foreign, like from the States. There's people from Canada. There's a lot of people from Canada
Yeah.
and people from Jamaica, same way, Saturdays there. I go up on the stage and I'm telling my father, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go perform. He's like, yeah, yeah, coward. You know what I mean? I can't say the word here, but yeah,
Yeah.
coward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ah.
But so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna prove him wrong. I went up on the stage. I sang the song Benny King. Don't play that song no more. You know that song?
Yeah.
Don't play that song no more. Yeah, you get me.
Yeah.
So I started singing that one on the stage. Place started going crazy, but I was I was getting nervous. I almost ran off the stage that time. This was my first time. Came back on the stage, did a little dance, like it and stuff. Came back, did another performance at another lounge beside it. That was my second performance, and I was like, boom. It's actually a little bit easier, you know. It's not so much stage fright,
Yeah.
but it got easier. And then I came back. Before I come back to like Canada, it was like boom. I recorded this song called Dea in the studio in Jamaica. It was like, me name Sandoson. Telling say me father name Sandokan. Boom. Me born a Canada, me father a Jamaican. Say me born a Canada, me father a Jamaican. So that song is like, we're just in the studio and I'm like, we're there, you know what I mean? So it's like a slang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're there. And then my father's name is Sandoson. No, my father's name is Sandokan. So that's how I get the name Sandoson,
Okay.
same
Okay.
way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, and like I mean like with Jamaica versus like Ontario, like even like Canada too. Like I know like there's like a lot of like differences like within the music scenes there. Like I know with Jamaica, like a lot of artists are like performing in like different like regions, like areas and all that too. And like they could even like transcend into like different areas, like Antigua, like Barbados and all that too, Trinidad, Saint Kitts, Saint Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
I know if like Ontario, if some people too, like even like that are like doing dancehall too, like I mean, they do here and there, but it's like, like there's always like this like little like competition type thing and like authenticity too. So even like just like the differences too, like what were like the major differences with your experience like in the Jamaican like music scene versus like the Toronto Canadian music scene?
I see in Jamaica is more fast paced because the slang and everything is just like, so you have like that is it. That is it is actually a old term that we pick up here. And they're actually using some different terms down there.
Yeah.
So it's like even like how you know how Crody or whatever
Yeah.
those terms will like come here as like even za and stuff is like they're using that term and stuff way and stuff like more down here. I would say like they're just picking up. I'd say they're just picking up, but is I feel like it's like that for every cities somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's like our music may be like just hearing out to them, or no, it may be playing like most likely playing in the States, and people will be hearing it faster than down here in the actual city.
Yeah.
But we'll be hearing like music, like say like as to like referring to like Jamaican here, we'll be hearing like music like Skeng probably 10 months after Skeng dropped that song. Bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I feel like for me, like what I've actually noticed with Jamaica versus like Ontario, like all over, it's easy to be like a well-known like dancehall artist too. Like like with dancehall artists, they like multiply like quickly like when it comes to like the fame and music and like they're
I
performing at like whatever show and all that. Like I actually got to like watch like some videos and all that too, and like you do see that with like a lot of artists like Shensia, TJ, Ding Dong, Byron Messiah, who else? Friggin' Silk Boss, and like like Dexter Dabs and all that too, and like Pampute and like Jada
Jeez,
Kingdom, all those like people too. Like
you did your
yeah,
research.
because like a lot of them are like blowing up quick and like they're getting like more opportunities. Like even like
But
when you see like a show, like I've seen like I was like watching like some like these videos like Maximilian Taylor and like Chef Young like media and all that too, and like a lot of them do come to Toronto and like they're like packed out to like the masses too. Like they're even like performing at like these like dining hall like venues and all that too, and like it's all like always like packed out, which is like crazy to see. But like even like, with a Toronto dancehall artist or
I
someone that
would
does like
like to elaborate on that too, like with the dancehall scene, and not just the dancehall scene, but like down in Jamaica, they're more like they more share your music
yeah
word of mouth, and they're more
yeah
like so if you're in a community like Portmore, all the artists they will have a sound box, and they'll be playing all the artists' music on that sound box from that area,
yeah
and then the DJs. I would like to say how that's different. The DJs and stuff, they actually do their homework and tap in.
yeah
As to like, big up to the DJs who are
yeah
tapping into the music,
yeah the selectors yeah
but yo, is that the camera?
yeah
DJs, you gotta like tap into the artist's music. People go to you for the music, so you gotta tap into the music and find what's not just trending, and do your research. You see me?
nah for sure
Because
man
there's trending music out there.
yeah. It's kind of similar to how like DJs in Atlanta move because like in Atlanta like a lot of like the DJs like they work in like strip clubs and all that too, like as a strip
Mm,
club DJ too, and like a lot of them tend to be sort of like the secret A&Rs to playing like new music like coming out of Atlanta too and all that too, and like
mm,
that's like when people like start to hear that song for the first time and like then all right, hey, like this is like a hit song, we're gonna put like a lot of like money on that and like it kind of works out from there. I kind of see that like how it's like that in like Jamaica too, so
yeah.
for sure, man. And one thing that I also noticed, like, I was like reading your thing that you sent me, and you mentioned that you were like a Sing J artist, and spoke on the difference between that. So how have those like styles like played a part in your music, like in a sense?
So like Sing J is like more of like I'd say like like how Movado, you have Movado and Vibes
Yeah.
Cartel. Like Vibes Cartel is more DJ, and then Movado's more like Sing J is like he's like singing into it. Like you wanna hear like a example of it?
I guess like kind of like Dexter Dabs type stuff and all that.
So like I would like them once you do go but no better than
True.
them.
Do you want to move the mic up for a bit too?
Yeah.
Or
Them once you do go but no better than them. Them black the potential limit everything, yeah. I feel them lifestyle, them I live and I me that. So that's like Sing J is like
okay,
I'm DJing, but I'm singing into
okay,
it. And then my DJ part is like say like that song, Wine and Slow. Foot in the area for car
like
night.
Elephant Man and all that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah,
Like foot in the area for car night. gymnastics make your body get fit. Sweat.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you get me. So that's like DJ, and then the first part is like sing J.
For sure,
And I
bro.
would say like the sing J, I got inspired by like Black Rhino,
Okay.
Wayne Marshall. The DJ part get inspired by Supercat,
Yeah.
Nicodemus, Vibes Cartel.
For sure,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, I noticed like with Sing J artists too, like more women like tend to like gravitate towards them too. Like when you see like Alkaline, Popcorn,
Mm-hmm.
Movado, Dexa Daps, like women like come to the stage like very quickly and like they get easily like turned on and all that too. But like when you have like the actual like DJ type artists, like like Elephant Man and like
Yeah.
Supercat, like it's like more of a balanced like crowd like in a sense too. So
Yeah.
yeah. For sure, bro. And like I was like even like listening to your music since like our last like conversation too. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like listening to the project like My Life, and then you also had like Thoughts, Squid Games, and like Ahuya Bad Mind too. So tell me more about the whole like creative process and inspirations for like the stuff that I mentioned and all that.
So like, which one you want to hear in
We could
order
we could we
first?
could talk with like My Life, and then we'll get to the single sex.
Oh, okay, my life is like basically talking about like when I was in high school. I was like, say like I don't what grade was I in? I think I was in like grade 10. I was like a lot of credits behind, whatever. And then a teacher told me that I would never graduate on time. So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so I did like a whole bunch of courses in like probably 4 courses in night school that same year, 4 courses in summer school, and then I did credit recovery thing.
Yeah.
And I was doing that every year until grade 12. And then I graduated. I came back and I showed a diploma to the teacher who said that I wasn't gonna graduate on time. I'm like, yeah. mm. I'm like, because I knew I wasn't gonna come back there. And I'm like, yeah, I did it. So that basically is like that. And then a lot of people would also tell me that I would never come to be like become anything. Like I had that in my life actually and stuff. And then boom. So it's like that song is like basically saying, yeah, everything that you guys told me that I couldn't do, I'm doing it. You see me? But I'm not only doing it to prove you guys, I'm just proving myself that I can do it. I'm able to do it. You see me?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
And like, to even like speak more about like high school too. Like I know of high school, like it can be like kind of hectic sometimes too, because like,
Yeah.
they expect you to have everything sorted out like between like those years and all that too. And like, like even like grade 10 to like they'll tell you to like even do like the whole like OSSLT like reading test and all that. And I feel like it is kind of good like in a sense too to kind of show how you are, but I don't feel like it's like a real required like method like in order to do anything like
Yeah.
special and all that too. But I don't know if you had like a situation with the OSSLT, because like sometimes too, if you fail the OSSLT, you would have to do like an OSSLT course, or you have to do like the test like all over again and all that.
What is that? A literacy
Yeah, the
test?
literacy test. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I had to do that back again.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, like I know, like for me, I passed my first time too and all that, but I feel like there are like some things that are kind of like unnecessary to like the OSSLT would be kind of like one. Like it is like good to like test out the reading levels too, but I feel like that there are other ways to
Yeah.
kind of do like maybe like grade 9, like maybe do like like hey like let's do a general like aptitude thing, and like hey, if you do well, then you could be like within a certain like course level way before like even like the whole like grade 8 graduation too, so
Yeah.
but yeah, man. But getting back onto like music too, like with thoughts like Sweet Games and like Ahuya Bad Mind,
Yeah.
like what would like the creative process and inspirations for those.
Um Thoughts was just like pretty much a song I just went in the studio and just like the producer Rhythm and Vibes, he sent me that beat. And I'm just like, sounds like a choppy beat, but I just went in the studio and just voiced it. I'm like, thoughts. I didn't write nothing actually. I just pretty much created that right on spot.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm like, you know what? A lot of people said they like it. I'm like, but it's actually like one of my least favorite songs because I didn't put any time into it really. Yeah,
I know what you mean.
but i in the creative process with that is like I'm saying thoughts, like as in like holes,
Yeah.
but I'm playing it around with the words and saying like thoughts as in your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then which other one? Who Your Bad Mind was like basically speaking about like, cause I'm a very quiet person and I don't really speak, but a lot of what happens in my life speaks through my music.
Yeah.
So like, Who Your Bad Mind was basically speaking about a lot what I had to deal with, like after the time that me and you spoke and whatever,
Yeah.
like during that journey, I had to deal with a lot of bad mind people. People want to see me do great, but not better than them. People who have potential, but they're blocking their potential. So they're trying to block your potential too. And then it's like, I'm going through all this shit at the same time. Again, like apart with music and then family and then all that other stuff and whatever. But I'm still doing my music because I know this is what I want. And I know, like, I believe, like, I just feel like I'm gonna get there,
Yeah.
regardless. So, like, in that song, in part of it, I'm like, one day me I go bust that day me live it up. Freedom, yeah. If I could see me turn a shit box in a shift box. So that part, somebody actually sold me a vehicle who was somebody who I grew up with. And it was a lemon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I fixed it up. It was like I modified it or whatever, but it was a lemon. But shout out to the dude anyways, because
Yeah.
he made me realize that like you can't live and expect things from people. Cause then if you live in expectation, then when somebody does you something, you're gonna really feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will be like more times it's the people around you, not the people who don't really know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's facts,
Yeah.
And like, I just want to like dive into because like last year, like I was like seeing like a lot of stories too, and like I think there was like this cousin of yours that kind of aired out like your situation too for a bit, and like like you were like dealing with some like family issues, like where I think the cousin tried to expose you for some things too and all that, just for having like issues with your parents to like this like music stuff and all that, and like you clarified that they were like hating on you and like they were critiquing your journey as an artist. So do you want to like speak more on that?
um, so that it wasn't a cousin, it was actually my sister.
Your sister?
Yeah. But we good. She can get hot headed sometimes, but big up to her.
Okay.
All love to her same way.
Yeah.
But, you know, not all the time your family will support you, but that's my blood at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it something that was like kind of like an issue that you had to like kind of like deal with for a bit too to kind of get them to be like on the right page too? Because I know of some families too, like when they see like people like working on music too, like they want to see like if it works and all that, and then sometimes it could be something that either works out at the end or doesn't work out too, like because of like the whole like money situation too. So
Yeah. So she was like, I believe that she believes in my music, but hate and vibes type of thing.
yeah,
But who knows? I don't know.
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
I either way it's still love, but it's just like she like not only her, but my family they don't really like support me as to like to my music because they don't growing up from like in a Jamaican household. All
okay,
they want to see is like, oh, if you're not a doctor, you're not a
yeah,
lawyer, you're not
yeah,
doing something like that, you're not doing nothing.
yeah.
So
Yeah, because I know like most like Jamaican families, like they all come from like education, from like work
yeah,
things to like DJ academics. Like basically I think his parents were teachers or something like that too, and then basically like it was like kind of like inherited in him to kind of go to school, like learn and all that
mm,
too. So I guess like with the standard of like education is like very like different from household to household, like with like
yeah,
Canadian families versus like Jamaican or like Caribbean families and all that too.
yeah. So like my parents like they're supportive in a sense. Like my mom, she's very supportive actually, because she actually like got me into like a little bit of acting. Like I was doing like a acting school for like a year. They got expensive and shit.
Okay.
And then boom, she's like tell me, as an artist, you should actually try and push into get into acting too, because when you're doing music video, you're acting too. And then, you know, she's like, if this is what you really want, go for it, you know?
Okay.
But my father, he's like, he's supportive when he wants to, but
Yeah.
he's like, if you know, like Jamaican typical fathers, they
Yeah.
support you in a negative type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I get you, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that transitioned from you doing like other like ventures, like digital art designing, promoting, hosting, producing. So how did like those come about?
Well, I always had in mind to do it. And I was always talking like with Mr. Lyrics, like shout out to Mr. Lyrics too, you know. But we're talking like from back in 2022 about hosting shows and doing something like putting out a platform for dancehall, because like we as dancehall artists, we didn't really have this platform, like dancehall platform to showcase our music. We always had to go to like jazz or hip hop showcase, and it's not really doing much for us. But there's a one and two people who will
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I've been waiting for this, because they don't see it. But what we're doing is like try put on this platform called Straight Dancehall. Let me see if I have a flyer actually. I can get it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. Sure,
Yeah,
man.
Straight Dancehall. This flyer right here,
Okay.
June 8th. So
People trying to see this right now, you can see this on all angles. So
yeah,
yeah.
so we have this June 8th. We have artists. So like we're trying to put out like showcase local artists in the city. And because a lot of people don't think that there's dancehall artists here, but there is dancehall artists here in the city, but they just don't have the platform to showcase their music, or maybe people are not really doing their research. Like I rate you because you're actually doing your research, you know?
Yeah.
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 So like we have artists like Rude Boss, Don Richie, Slim Jin with the Ting, Heartbreak, you know what I mean? And we have DJ Versatile and DJ Jinx, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, DJ Versatile, yeah, that's my guy. Like met him a couple times. I actually did some photo work for him like last year too and all that. Like and yeah, he's very professional. And then I think in the prior event too, like we met him at a showcase actually in Mississauga actually, and it was actually pretty interesting to see like that environment from there too. So yo, that's pretty dope. And is it like kind of like a monthly thing, or is it like like a
Well,
once?
our first event we start now, but we're trying to do it like as an ongoing thing, like straight dance or platform, have the artists showcase their music, and eventually like, working with a lot of promoters in the city.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that I see as an artist that they should be doing. And I'm like, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, and we're gonna try and switch up the thing too. Like we're not gonna have artists pay like $250 for a 15-minute set and or whatever,
Yeah.
or $50 for a 15-minute set, or whatever their crazy ridiculous price. We're gonna be paying the artists eventually.
Yeah.
That's what our goal is to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get right into it because I feel like this is gonna be some great discussion. Do you
Yeah.
ever feel like this crab in the bucket mentality, like in Toronto, with blogs not supporting or answering DMs, or like janky promoters and like gatekeepers and like artists telling other artists like not to work with, like each other and all that too?
Oh my goodness. I gotta take off my hat for this.
Yeah,
Yo. Actually, I have actually been through this. I actually been going through this actually the whole of last year.
yeah,
Promoters telling other promoters not to book Sandoson. Artists is telling other artists unfollow Sandoson. A whole bunch of all that shit.
yeah,
But
bro.
like, I feel like people should, do the research, get to know somebody before you even judge them.
Yeah,
Don't be too quick to be like, oh, pass judgment just because you see or you hear a whole bunch of things saying about this person. Don't believe that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I feel like, yeah, there is gatekeepers here, but it's just up to we artists to work together and
yeah,
actually kick down the gatekeepers and make an open door for us, you know?
yeah. I know
Because
what you
it's
mean.
like, sometimes what I really look at it is like, yo, we artists put ourselves in the situation because everybody's putting out their value out there. Promoters are putting out their value out there. engineers are putting their value out there. You have to pay the engineer, you have to pay the producer, you have to pay the promoter, you have to pay pay the man who hold the venue, you have to pay the whatever, you know,
Yeah.
distro kid. So it's up to we artists to actually put a base value on it and be like, yo, we're working for this because at the end of the day, you're spending at least as an artist, you're spending at least $120 in the studio minimum. So what I do? I work for free all the time. Like it makes sense to work for free and get your name out there, but after a certain amount of time, it's gonna be like, what are you doing? You know?
And for me, I think I've noticed this like more clearly too because there have been like situations recently where there were janky promoters like doing something like a little bit too wicked, or
Yeah.
other people kind of acting like off. Like I don't know if you know like the whole like Toronto Divas thing
Mm-hmm.
situation. So there's this woman by like the name of like Stay Foxy,
Yeah.
Bossa Nova. I think she actually exposed, I think, the promoters, I think, for kind of like valuing like other artists like that were on the bill versus like the people that she brought up, and
What do you
the
say her name was again?
like Stay Foxy, Bossa Nova.
Well, go on.
But yeah, like it led to, I think, a shortage of people performing, and like I think only like 3 or 4 people performed. But
Mm-hmm.
and even though that was like all aired out like on Instagram and everything else too, they still had the event and like they're trying to do like another one too. So that is like something that I did notice. Like it's been like this since Mitchie Me and like Maestro Fresh West were kind of like doing their thing and all that too. Like with the whole people having like bad mind energy, like as you said too, and like
Yeah.
I even like hopped on like an IG live where you and Soros were talking about like Freddie Fame and all that too. So tell me more about that guy. Like
um Yo, I was told Freddie Frame, I respect your hustle, man, but you can't come hustle me, you know? Yeah. I would tell him that straight to his face, same way, but like I think it's he taught me a couple of 1, 2 things how to like sell and make tickets and whatnot, whatever. And there's a lot of things that I did learn from him, but he didn't know that I was learning from him because I'm a visual learning and sometimes I'm silent, but I'm a very, very observant person. And then he picked up on that because he's like, he realized that, I might spill the sauce here, but he realized that I realized that I don't have to go pay $250 to go perform and network with people. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna pay the $25 ticket and support the artists who are selling the ticket and still network with people and come to your venue. But I'm not gonna perform and pay no $250. And he did not like that. So I know this is what he told people that, because I heard around.
yeah,
He's like, oh, come, bring anybody you want, but don't bring Sandoson. You know why? Because he actually had a conversation with me, telling me, he's like, oh, I don't have no problem with you, but it really doesn't make no sense if you come to my shows and I'm not making no money off of you. I'm like, what? you know? So I see it's like him, respect to Freddie Fame, you're doing your thing, but you're not come hustle me, you see me?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, I know what you mean, man.
Keep
And
doing your thing. Everybody gotta make their money, you know?
yeah,
But I'm not hating on nobody, you see me?
yeah.
Don't believe the rumors, whatever people are saying. That Sandoson is talking shit because I talk my shit to your face. you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think just to add on to this question that you also like sent me too. So, how do you feel about like what's happening in the city in terms of like the politics mixed with the industry, and how it affected you like as an artist, like coming up, like aside from like the whole like Freddie Fame situation and all that?
I feel like there's ups and downs. There's like the politics, it brings a bad name to a bad brand name to Toronto in general. So it's like when people hear you're from Toronto, they're like, oh shit, there's so much politics there, or whatever. You're a Toronto artist? Oh my goodness. They don't want to book you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's like that comes with it, but also at the same time, it comes with, oh, you're from the same city as Drake. You know?
yeah.
The Raptors or Blue Jays, or you know, you're from the, I don't know what they call Toronto, but I forgot the slang what they call them.
Like the six
The
and
six.
yeah.
But there's another slang what they call them.
There's like T Dot, there's like 416, TO, like a lot of people have been like saying that from time
Yeah.
Screwface Capital. So
Yeah, Screwface
yeah,
Capital.
yeah,
Cause that's another name where it's like we get this like image where we're just Screwface.
yeah,
We're not care. But it's not like that. It's not really like that. We're like very outgoing people. And we're very welcoming people.
yeah,
I feel like, you know, gotta talk to Six Buzz if you're watching this.
yeah. Keep Six
You
Solid.
know,
Yeah,
the fuckery is good for, a certain amount of time, but when people keep seeing fuckery on the page, they're gonna think that Toronto's just full of fuckery.
yeah,
But we actually have talented people here, and people are actually like really trying to do stuff,
yeah.
and put out like a unity platform. But if you guys keep pushing this, what do you think the city's gonna come to?
Yeah, nah, exactly, man. And I mean, even recently too, like I was like I actually just followed this page called like Six Sense and all that too, because they'll post like random stuff about like what's going on with like these artists doing all that, and like basically, they had a post about like K Money, like we talked about him like earlier, like today before this one. He said that I think he exposes like podcasters like trying to get him to diss other people and all that too for fame and views and all that too, and like these are like known podcasters that are even like getting into like the fuckery and all that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it is kind of crazy too, like how even like certain media is like even like getting into and all that, and like others like choosing sides and all that too. So it's always like knowing, all right, who's like the right people to like notice this, and then how do we improve from like everything like as a whole and all that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. And like as we mentioned about the whole like dissing the dead situation, so basically like it kind of became like more of a big phenomenon since you know back in the day and all that too. So how do you even feel about that whole like dissing the dead, smoking on the dead stuff like going on in music and all that?
I think it's very disrespectful. Like I actually so you know that song like Wine is Slow that hit
Yeah,
2 million, whatever.
yeah,
Like prior to that, there's a app called Clubhouse.
okay,
And then prior to that, Instagram. So I was getting trolled on Instagram and Clubhouse. People were, and now I'm just silent. I'm like, why you guys cussing me? Like, I'm just trying to do my thing.
yeah,
And then I realized that they just do that they just do that. That's their way of joking around
yeah,
or whatever. But like, if you let them get to you and they know that it got to you, they will keep pushing. Cause that's what happened to me on Clubhouse. They're like, I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, I'm like,
yeah.
F you. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, you can swear, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, F you, fuck you too, blah, blah, blah.
All that type of stuff.
Ray
Yeah,
Tete, you know. And then they're like, oh, F you, fuck your mom, fuck your dead grandma, whatever. And then true, I get cross too. I'm like, oh, go suck your mama too, and go suck your granny too. And I'm
yeah,
like, all that. But then I realized if you entertain it too much, it really get your head, like, your blood pressure run up.
yeah, yeah.
And some people really want to see that because, like, they think it's funny to them, but it's not funny to me, isn't me?
Yeah, it's like the idea of a crash out too. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
like get more into it because I've noticed like how the idea of like crashing out is actually becoming more popular like as like time progresses too. Because you see like there's like this one example. There's this guy named Joeezy and all that who
Yeah.
is actually is in jail right now for the murder of two of his like family members, his dad and his brother and all that too. And basically it all had stemmed from like past internal issues like going on too,
Yeah.
because with some people too, like they react within like different ways, like on how they kind of act, and like they kind of like take it out on everyone and everything like around them too. And then like basically it's like more of like like when you shake like a water bottle too, it's like kind of like when you shake it to a point, like it fizzes up and then basically it intensifies like over time, and
Yeah.
then it's like when you put that pressure on, like then that's when shit like explodes and all that too. And like I realize on like how to interact with like people wisely too and all that, and like
Yeah.
how to
Eventually.
analyze the situation too, because when you poke the bear for so long too, like anything can happen like either way too. So it's with him, it's like with people like that have affected him like in certain ways too, with whatever disses they do or like whatever stuff happens, like then
Yeah. I
yeah,
feel like I'm going through that, like, even now,
yeah,
because I'm like, I have this show to to keep, and I have to keep positive. And
Yeah,
there's
exactly, man.
people try me in the industry, and yeah, there's people try me in the industry, and it's like I know they're trying me, but it's like I have to keep a positive composure because I have the show coming up, and then I have my album working on, and I already reached this far, so it's like some of them is just like they want to test you to see if you can handle the pressure.
Sure. I mean, for me, like, if I were to handle like a situation like that, if like people were to poke the bear, like I just like put like whatever on like mute, like whether it's like on IG or within my messages too. Like, won't have to think about them. The block
That
button,
too, like
block button's like also right there too. So yeah,
that too, or like even just like just keeping myself busy and away from the phone too.
exactly, man.
What I find too is like I like to just go to the beach side. I find when I go there, it just clears my mind. So like anything I'm going through, I just go there and it just clears my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, man. And to even like get more into like social media, like how do you even like feel about that like nowadays too?
Social media, I feel like it's good. There's pros and there's disadvantage on it. It's like the disadvantage is like people spend too much time on it to the point where like you have people who just they don't do nothing with their life. So they just like they'll find anything and anything to pick on you. Like they'll find because they're on it so much, they'll find like one little small thing and then run with that or whatever, or like find one little thing that they can run with and then boom. But is like the advantage of it is like there's not talking about gatekeepers again. There is gatekeepers, but with the internet and social media, it made it so easier to go past and break past those barriers because like even now I can connect with a producer in Netherlands, I can connect with a producer in the States,
Yeah,
France, whatever the case be. Like back in the days you had to like know somebody to actually get to that person
yeah,
and
exactly.
whatnot.
Yeah. I feel like like as you said, it is good and bad at the same time too. I feel like it is beneficial for artists like, if they want to connect with people that have content going. Like for me, for example, too, like I don't just interview people from the city, but I also have like other people from like other like parts of the world, like on the platform. Like I just dropped like an interview with an Atlanta artist too, which went pretty well and all that. And interviewed like some people from the States and like I think also like maybe Europe, I guess too, but yeah, yeah, like the States and I think also like when we look at the bad side, I think like it's just like for everyone like in general too, because like when you go to IG, you see like people with their perfect lives and all that too, with the perfect photo and everything else too. But like
Yeah,
when you look outside of it, it's like a whole like different reality too.
that
Like
too, cause like social media, it it brings people in this type of reality, like where you have to be living some type of way to be that or whatever. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like or it kind of shift people's mind. Like you see these women, they be like most of them, not all of them, most of them be like they don't need a nigga for whatever,
exactly, man. Yeah,
and they don't need a man for a rate. I'm a boss B. I'm a rate. You know what I mean? You know. So it's like social media put that image in people's head, but it's like it's not really that because
yeah,
most of these people they just posting just for attention,
yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
it's like I also with the social media thing is like it's a pro and a disadvantage with the streams and music and
yeah,
whatnot because back in the days you had to actually go out there and perform.
yeah,
Now people are just like relying on these streams and these numbers.
yeah.
But what happens when people book you to go see you perform? And now what these artists are doing are performing over their vocals like karaoke. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I know what you mean too, and like even like having like that whole like image too, because like when you see the music video, when you see the IG posts and all that type of stuff too, like you
Yeah.
see like all these like chains, all these cars, all the money that they have, but now it's been exposed that these people are renting out cars from like car companies and all that too, or like they're renting out like
Yeah.
prop money, just to make that music video work and all that too, and or like they're getting that girl from like certain services that we
Yeah.
can't even like discuss about that too. And like it's like a reality that they have to like kind of show to give this like sort of fiction for everyone to see and all that too, which is like kind of crazy. Like when you like see them in real life too, like yo, funny story actually, like so I was actually like this is like back in like 2015, like I was actually like coming back from school and all that, and like this well-known rapper basically is like sort of like famous, you know, music wise and all that too. So basically I saw him like got on like the subway too, and like this is like when he was like about to like blow for a bit too, like he was about to have like a known name and all that. I literally like saw him like on the subway just like riding for a bit too, you know, white shirt, you know, like roots sweatpants and all that too, with like whatever like sneakers he had, like no chain, nothing like that too. He was going from like Broadview, I think Broadview or something like that, and then I think he got off like I think Sherborne or like Castle Frank and all that, and basically, and it was like kind of surprising too because I thought, you know, he's like this like known guy, like known for like a big name and all that, and then he was just like riding the subway, just like is like you and me and all that, years later to like having like a lot of like streams and music and all that, and you know performing like all over like Canada, like in a sense too. But like when you notice like that moment, like that they're kind of like living that same life too, you don't know if it's like kind of like the same life now versus like what was like back in like 2015 and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. And you know, to even like speak more on like some of your collaborators, you know, how did you manage to work with the likes of like Lexicon, Cleve, and like Swisher Sweets, and how was it like, you know, working with them, and like what were like some things they taught you on how to be successful like in the industry and all that?
Well, Lexicon, I met him through Rise Poetry Edutainment. Well, there is like around that time, it was like 2017 going into 2018. Wait, am I talking too far?
No, no, you're
Yeah.
fine.
So like yeah, 2017 going to 2018, I met him at like Rise Poetry, and I saw a couple of his videos, and I'm like, wait, I don't really see that much dancehall artists around here, you know? So I tapped into it. I'm like, yo, that's pretty sick, you know? Because I've never seen a dancehall artist perform here. So we tapping in, and then boom, came across T Polo. Rise showcased her music on an open mic too. I'm like, rotted, Shabbat, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then boom, connected with her. She was like she was an ambassador for Fame Hub. Yeah, it was Fame Hub. And then she got me into like with Fame Hub, tapped in with them, doing some shows, and then I think it was like Fame Hub was actually the one that actually got me the solid link to Can Jam Festival. And then but it was like Lexicon who sent me the application with it. But yeah, and then boom, you know, working with Lexicon, yeah, working with Lexicon is like, you know, straight to the point, you know, like, and it's bless, you know? None
Yeah.
of that other, you know, but like, you know,
Yeah.
you see, I know people are been questioning me about, so that I can hear it out right here, yeah?
Yeah.
People been since he came out, since Lexicon came out with that song, people been sending me beer videos and beer, you know, be like, Rotted, you do a song with Batty boy.
Yeah.
And then, but at the end of the day, like I was told Lexicon same way, I'm not gonna disrespect you because you all show respect to me regardless, you know what I mean? I treat people equal regardless of whatever they want to be or whatever they want to do, you know what I mean? That's for them business, not my business. And that's what I like about Lexicon, working with Lexicon, because although during that time, I never knew that he was that. I never knew that he was gay. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he always kept it strictly business and kept it strictly respectfully. He never showed that type of vibes to me. Always kept it really respectfully. And he showed me about like a lot of workshops, and the like some of the links that I have now is through him too. And T Polo. Swisher Sweets. I actually met Swisher Sweets through Lexicon too. Cause they did a song called, I think it was called Fake Friend.
Okay.
And then I also like started performing like at shows that she was performing at. And then we're like, oh, we had like I showed her a beat from like long time. Like it was the Nastigal. It's called Nastigal Rhythm. And that's the song I did Lockdown on. And then we worked on it, went in the studio together. Dub, shout out to Dubs. He wrote the Spanish verse. It was like Ese culo to bien faleza. You get me? You know, and then I actually learned the Spanish in there like within the 5 hours I was in there in the studio. So but it was a whole vibe, you know, like all pure energy. Yeah.
Sure. Now it's like amazing to see like your connectivity with like some of these artists like Lexicon, like Cleve, like because I know Cleve, he has HFG like Hustle for Greatness, which is like an embracing brand to see. Like you see like a lot of people like wearing that and all that.
Yeah.
Lexicon, like his whole like Afro Wave series, like it is like amazing to see like how like he brought like a lot of people to perform at these events and all that, having like well known names, like even performing at like different events too, like, I think, they had, like, the whole, like, parade thing going on, like, other stuff too, which
Mm-hmm.
was amazing. I think also, Swisher Sweets, who was, like, I think sorta, like, more known, like, on IG too. Like, I know she's, like, kinda, like, affiliated with, Gutsy and all that and, like, all those people too, so it is
Yeah, she shout out to Swisher Sweets too. She has she does a hairstyle thing too, you know?
okay.
So if any of the girls in the city or any of the guys want braid ups, hit up Swisher Sweets, you get me?
Sure.
You know? And then she's also doing her hosting things. She hosts some for the most of it. I know she hosts for most of Freddie Fame's event. So that's why more so like I don't really want to diss up Freddie Fame because big up to Swisher Sweets.
Ah, for
That's my
sure, for
sis
sure.
at the end of the day, you see me?
Nah,
You know what I mean?
nah, I know what you mean,
But
though.
Freddie, you already know. You need to fix up.
Yeah, nah, exactly, man. And I mean, there's like this is like one of like the most like interesting topics that I do want to discuss too. How do you even feel about the whole like Diddy situation going on right now?
Oh, I think that dude been marked out from 2001 still. Like
Yeah.
me, my brethrens them from like even elementary school been talking about that dude from long time. Like he moved funny. Like why y'all dancing up in the music video? Like this
Yeah.
is like but he's. I feel like is that guy's a different dude.
Yeah.
More in Canada. Can I even say that?
Yeah, you could say
it's
it.
it's it's normal in 2024, but geez, that kind of brings question now. Like, oh, where you have, where you sitting at them, where you sit? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody to each their own. You see me? But you know what I mean? But like, yeah, if he's guilty, then he should be getting his time and
Yeah.
stuff. But which I feel like he did that shit still.
Yeah.
There's videos already showing that with the Cassie thing, and he already tried to deny it. But boom,
I
But
feel
I feel like
yeah.
with him though, and it goes for everybody too. Money doesn't bring you all these power. If you don't have respect, your money don't mean shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean too. Like I feel like it has like even like stemmed since like the early '90s too, because Diddy actually used to work for like Uptown Records. Like he played like a pivotal role and then transitioned on to like Bad Boy, which is like kind of odd too because you've had like Mary J. Blige, like New Edition, like all those like other people like on their guy, and then you go to like another venture where you're getting people like Biggie Smalls and all that, Craig Mack, GDEP, Loon, Black Robin, all that, and like it has been suspicious, like with the situation that happened at like Quad Studios, to Tupac's death, to Biggie's death,
Heavy
to
D,
like the whole like Shine situation too, to like Little Kim and like all these other people too, and like it all pans out like later on too, like even with Bad Boy, because I remembered even he had King Los and like Machine Gun Kelly and all that too, and like how did how did their fame like even get like too higher and all that too? Because like King Los, he was supposed to be like up next too, and then stuff didn't work out too. Cassie's situation already explained too. Like MGK, I feel like MGK was like known more from his own side than being someone from Bad Boy too. So it's like
wait, he was with Bad Boy?
yeah, MGK was with Bad Boy, French Montana too. Like I think they focused more on French Montana
Uh,
than MGK. But yeah, MGK was on Bad Boy 2012, I think, to like
Like Machine Gun Kelly?
Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, yeah.
Say word.
And then I think something happened, and then I think he just kind of like parted ways with them too. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it is kind of crazy with like what's going on too, and respect to like all the victims and like the people who were dealt with like in the matter that he tried doing them. Like I hope like there was like some sort of like peace either way too. But yeah, like I felt like something was like kind of off too, even with the whole like Suge Knight situation
You
too. So
but you
yeah,
never know if that's even like, cuz as we talk about media, you never know if that's what they're putting out is just some distraction and they're actually rated themselves for something else.
yeah. Because like even like some artists too, like there are like artists like in Hollywood, there is like a lot of like satanic, I guess, problematic stuff going on inside these homes where they have like the whole like like LA like LA parties and all that too, and like people are talking about like how they've seen demonic behavior and all that type of stuff too. And I actually had an artist like a while back too, like back in like 2022 that lived in LA for a good amount of time too, and like went to like those like LA like parties and all that, and like had like noticed like a situation from there. And you have to kind of like see it to believe it and all that too, because and like it's just like moving accordingly too, because you never know if you're gonna meet someone like Diddy or you're gonna meet someone that has like good intentions and all that type of stuff too. So
Yeah. As we talk about demonic, what do you think about the music industry in general with like how artists usually perform at nighttime
yeah,
in glowing night, in glowing lights,
yeah.
in dark? What do you think about
I
that?
feel like it's just like the whole subject matter and what they're trying to bring to, because like with some cultures they come from the whole like Christianity, religious type base to
Mhm.
like with the Aretha Franklins, the Marvin Gayes, the Ross sisters and all that too, with the Jackson 5, with like all these like other people too, and because like their background like stemmed from church, but like with other acts, there wasn't really a religious aspect to the music too. Like when you like listening to like a Guns N' Roses album, it's like
Yeah.
the music is like subject, it's the idea of like hell and all that too. With other acts, like like Lil Nas X and like Doja Cat and all that type of stuff too, they try to play along with it like it's like a meme and all that. But then you do kind of notice too, like when you like listen to it like back and forth, like on like what the actual like message like entails and all that, and like you don't know if there are like certain words to like tap in with to understand like and to for like even like the songs to like avoid and all that too. So it's like you just have to like know the intentions of an artist and like know when to play like a certain moment, so
Yeah. That is it.
yeah, bro. And like we already talked about like Toronto and Canada right now, like even with the state of like music too. So I don't want to go too much on that, but as far as like your growth as an artist, do you feel like you've grown as an artist from like the start of your career until now?
Yeah, I feel like I've grown like a very, very big expand like big growth cuz like when I when I even first came here, I was like a lot more shyer and stuff. And I was like a lot more like nervous. Like I didn't even just like that was like my first time doing a interview like in the front of a camera and type of thing. Like, but I feel like I've grown a lot with like my stage presence more so because like before I used to like just say like this was the mic. I would be like standing up in that one spot performing. Now I'm just like moving around because like I did an audition for like another event back in 20, I think it was at 2019. I didn't make it though. There was like a lot of no's, but you know how the auditions be like. But they gave me good feedback too. They're like, oh, you have the voice, but you need to like show more stage presence, move around with the mic
Okay.
and make the people feel it. So I started brought that back to the work board, worked on my craft and worked on like my pronunciations, my clarity and stuff. And also not only that, like I found like a app to work on my vocal too. And I started like training on that too because I'm like also started like a lot of things that I didn't know, like people didn't tell me. I just do my research and then search it up and find it myself. Also with like I believe like oh yeah, digital We getting into that?
With the whole like digital media stuff and all that.
Digital designing?
Yeah,
Should I talk about now
yeah.
or
You talk about it briefly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like briefly, like so, like yeah, it's like the digital design and like that's part of like in that series. I got through that because I was working with like a digital artwork guy. He was doing my artwork good. He did three of them good, and then when it came to my album one, he kind of ripped me off. But shout out to him same way. I don't remember his name, Gerard, whatever. But and but from him doing that, it made me gave myself the more courage and me like, you know what, fuck this. Why am I gonna go through everybody? Like you're gonna go through coming up in the industry, you're gonna go through people fucking you over, yes. But you gotta learn from it. You gotta like you can't make the same mistakes. So I took up like a Canva, like
Yeah, Canva. Yeah, yeah.
Canva, and then started learning how to like do digital artworks on that bit by bit. Started like doing a little bit like I was doing for HFG Cleaves
All right.
cover arts, some of them, and got better at it. Started doing promos, got better at it. And I'm like, you know what? I started putting more time into it. I'm like, you know what? Same thing he's doing, I can do. So it's like I learned from a lot of people and I learned from like a lot of experience, the downfalls. Like I always see is like I don't take L's in life.
Yeah, exactly.
I take lessons and I turn them into blessings. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just like knowing like when the right time is and like just like knowing if you could do it. Like I feel like for people who do stuff like independently and all that too, like for me, like when I even like first got into the whole like idea of like photography, videography, even like editing and all that stuff, for me it's like, hey, it's good to like learn this process too so that you could be like a man of like all trades and all that too because when you
Facts.
think about like having someone to edit your content or having someone to do this or do that type of stuff too, it's like you have to like know how their pay range is and all that. You have to know are you confident in doing this? Are you confident in doing that and all that? Like and it like kind of like works over time and it's also, time and money. So if you
Yeah.
have enough time to work on it, it should be no issue. But like if you don't have time, you're gonna have to find someone to do and like you have to figure out if they can like follow with the right like formula and like path that you've done it like in the past too
Definitely.
and all that because like not everyone's gonna have like that whole like same mindset as you or like that same like mentality to complete everything like on time as like you and all that like others like it takes like it's like a worthwhile process too like I've had like people that I've worked with that sometimes too like with the work that we do have to work on like it would take a little bit more time but it's like for me it's just like knowing how to be patient and I'm
Yeah.
all good with it too. Like with others, it's like you don't know how their patience can be because if it's like something that they need now and like they're taking like too much for the time and all that, like then it could be different. So you'd have to find someone that has like the same value as you too. So it all depends,
Definitely.
So
That's like one thing I also went through like last year. Like people not taking my time serious. So I'm just like that's another reason why I'm like, yo, it's like if I don't know you, hell yeah, you're gonna pay for your feature. But if I know you and we cool, we can work out something.
okay.
Because it's like I've dealt with like artists last year, like an artist last year. Not even gonna call his name because he ain't relevant. But like kind of took up my time. I'm like every time I'm going to go record a song, whatever, Ray Tay or whatever the case be, do be smoking, whatever and whatnot. It's like cool, it's cool to smoke, but don't do it on my time because I'm not even charging you for my time. I'm here coming out of my way to do shit and then get shit done. And you taking my time for a plating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's like now this year I follow up with it. I'm like, I'm just focusing on my album, doing this show, and only working with serious people. People who value their time. Because if you don't respect your own time, how are you going to respect my time?
Uh,
You know?
yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And like aside from the album and then like the showcase going on like in Saturday and all that, what else do you have in terms of other music, other like creative projects and so forth? And do you have any like closing remarks you'd like to say and all that?
Yeah, like I have so apart from this, look out for like more straight dancehall events coming along. We're trying to stretch to Vancouver too. Shout out to Urban Renewal Project, you get me? You can find my music on Renewal Project radio station, Vancouver. And you can find it on YouTube, all those streaming platforms, Spotify. You can find this podcast on Spotify as well. You get me?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah. And then also stay tuned for my album. Me and Josh. I can call you Josh or what?
Yeah, like Yashu, Josh, whatever, like whatever
Yeah.
works, man. So
Me and Josh, spoke about this in what year was it? 2021?
yeah,
Yeah, we spoke about the album. And I was like, I'm going to the studio on the 15th of this month to go complete it finally. And then it should be out for, I'm not going to say the date yet, but it should be
Yeah.
out for July.
nah, for sure,
Yeah.
man. Likewise, bro.
Yeah.
Sandoson, it was a pleasure, like having you on, man. Like for
Don't know.
a return and all that too, to discuss like a lot about life, to discuss about everything, and hopefully the album works out. Like I don't know, like when this will be like released, like when like the event would happen, but hopefully like when it does drop, like the next event's like gonna pop through, and then we're definitely gonna have like people like pull through for that one as well too, and like also stay tuned for the album as well. It'll be a dope piece of work. So either way,
Definitely. And
and
if you guys know that trending song, Wine It Slow, I'll give you a tune. Yeah, that song is going to be on it. Squid Games, Who Your Bad Mind. So, yeah,
all
man.
that, all that, man. Like, it
Yeah.
was also a pleasure having you on, and we'll definitely have you back on again. Like to speak more about facts and all that.
Yeah.
But yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, episode 90 of the TLOY Talks podcast. I want to I want to congratulate everyone for like tapping in and like checking that out too. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, much more, and all that too. Tap in with Sanderson, tap in with Sandoson's music, dope artists, dope creative of all trades. Definitely tap in with psych services and all that too. And yo, this is episode 90, TLOY Talks signing off.